Welcome to Ironcast. My name's Anuki, here to present another overdue cast. And if you hadn't seen already, I did some tutorial videos for Relic, and that's why I was away for some time. So let's introduce the players. In the north side, leading the Africa Corps, which is as close to evil as you can get. It's Dromedar. Very cool name, I like it. A motorcycle crew is trained, followed up by Panzer Grenadiers. Seeing how a motorcycle is used is a great way to assess the skill level of a player. Now in the south, it's the red-eagled Americans, and taking charge of them is the Right Honorable Gentleperson Step, and they're going to get a Jeep out. So we have ultra-light vehicle wars. Step's scout will probably encounter that motorcycle down here. Whatever happened to Steps anyway? Probably killed by S Club 7. Entirely different war going on back then. Anyway, no doubt Steps will be looking to hunt down that motorcycle with their Jeep of their own. I hear explosions. That's dangerous driving. Get some points on your license, but it's the kind of points that says you're better than everyone else. Steps has immediately gone armor for the Vet 1 bonus and has granted that Jeep the ability to capture territory. There are Panzer Grenadiers nearby. Just doesn't give a damn. Drive through any explosives I like. Seize that motorcycle. They knew there was capturing going on in nearby territories, as the flashing on the minimap indicates. It's about time to meet the locals. There's not much territory to cut off. Just one sector. Far too dangerous. Have smaller goals in life, Steps. Don't be the victim of your own ambition. Motorcycle now giving chase to this provocation. We've got scouts over here too. All this light vehicular roughhousing is reminding me I still need to watch Fast and Furious 10. No spoilers. Though I will assume Vin Diesel does win the race and gets to keep his family. We have rifles out here in the middle, contesting the victory point. It's really hard to capture this point because on either side there is heavy cover and that building. These rifles are getting shot from both sides, which is usually unusual. Step has just taken the gunfire though. They've already got the point. They don't need to be there anymore. There they are. They've got the fancy smancy 3 cap. Victory points will tick down fast, but probably not for long. Andromeda from the Andromeda Galaxy will no doubt regain control of the middle victory point. Jeep is trying to offer up some resistance. Half-track coming in. Situates itself behind the Panzer Pioneers, which are behind the sandbags, which is behind the victory point. 250 taking an aggressive stance. I hope this isn't an indication of how this will be used in the future. Aggressive half-tracks are dead half-tracks. Whilst I do give exception to its use there, just chasing the Jeep away, it really needs to be very carefully placed at the maximum engage distance more often than not. Look out, Scout!
Our gunners shall show the enemy the meaning of precision.
I tried to warn him.
We've done what we can.
It's just some simple repairs on the 250 that need to be done. The garage would probably charge $1,000 for 30 minutes labor and a rubber band. The Step is really focusing on these victory points. That's quite uncouth. Almost drained 100 victory points already. Ooh. It's a good sticky grenade. Jeep's getting some shots in. I think that 250 is meeting its end days. Not escaping the Jeep there. The Panzer Pioneers will not be destroyed along with the 250. Thank you very much. Now the downside of Step focusing on these victory points is that they have suffered some significant early game casualties, as well as being slightly behind resources, as they have less economic based territories. Nice little dodge there, but not for one blooded guy. And losing those scouts early on is God knows how many territory uptime, whatever you want to call it, is lost at time itself. Motorcycle is in excellent condition and flanking position. We have a Captain Retinue on the field charging down the road. Bars also upgraded for all riflemen. Bars this early does typically pose a threat to the Africa Corps, but when Andromeda's forces are grouped up together like a band of merry men, all lined up with a flamethrower, they'll send these despicably arrogant men back to their den. You think that grenade was gonna work? That's the bad thing that happened. If we go to the tactical map, you can see there's much less forces on the field. This cannot be allowed to happen again. Something about studying history so it doesn't repeat. I think the opposite. I think we should study history because sometimes history gets it right. And we should repeat those parts. Like the PlayStation 1 load-up sound. That was a pleasant moment. We need more moments like that in our lives and much less losing scouts and riflemen to German bullets. All I'm saying is, and I won't mention names, but someone needs to step up their game. Still early days, though. Some people have come back from worse, but I'm not willing to cite my sources. Now might be a good time to recommend you my very lonely Discord channel. So please pop on by to the sound of machine gun fire and a jeep dying. This is the third thing that's been lost. History! That's where that jeep now lives. Also, come subscribe to the YouTube channel. Or don't, it's a free country. At least mine is, I don't know about yours. You may very well be forced to subscribe to YouTube channels on command as a part of your daily dose of brainwashing. If only Fox News was more about foxes and less about news. There'd probably be one less special military operation at least. Anyways, I think I digress. What's going on here? There's a brand new 250 out of the Jaeger squad inside. Rifles have excellent heavy cover positioning. 250 at the back. Panzer Grenadiers charging up. Predictive grenade on that cover. Excellent move. Panzer Grenadiers retreat. So does one rifle squad. The other sprinting up to try and get a sticky grenade off. Probably isn't going to get it. Whilst the motorcycle alive and well, capturing whatever territories are free for the taking. It's time to step up to the plate and retake this strategic point. We have a scout squad out here on the very far left side. Maybe trying to hope to slip by and steal that back fuel point, maybe?
Our victory point is being neutralized by the enemy.
Panzer Grenadiers decided not to go on this side. They're going to move to the middle of the map instead. Try and keep their forces somewhat near other forces so they can reinforce each other. That's a good, solid strategy. Made all the more easier by having vehicles which can transport troops around. We're going to get some mines down on the victory point as well. And annoyingly, we probably won't even see it get blown up because we always miss mines. There's a cool new mod thing. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just like called Q mode that has an interesting replay overhaul. And it is pretty fantastic. It can show you things like when mines get triggered as an event queue that you can then pop over and go and see. Riflemen holding out behind the truck. And you've really got to see the difference that heavy cover makes here. That Panzer Grenadier squad that got behind the truck took losses on their way there. It's not enough just to be in heavy cover. You have to ask, what did it take to get there? They retreat, leaving a rifle squad to take on a full to the brim with health Panzer Grenadier squad. All 6 soldiers, thanks to that armory upgrade, which allows you to tell a friend to join the squad to play today in all of the flaming glory. Oh, that looks Scorchio. Oh my, we have an M8 Scott on the field as well, but we lose a rifleman squad. Scout squad also having to run through a bunch of PGs. Oh, I really need some tea. I forgot to make some before I started this. There goes that mine. Too late now. Always sad to not see them blow up. Oh, was it the Scot that hit it? Something hurt it pretty badly, and Captain Retinue as well. Getting flamed hard. This one's able to not get away because of a flak Verling. It's going boldly where no flak Verling has gone before. It can, in theory, kill a Scot on this much health, but Scots can two-shot. Second shot is very, very wide as long as this flak Verling keeps moving sideways. Ooh, a very close dodge. That is sticky, though, that is tracking. Blown up in the butt. Andromeda should have just settled for what they had, not what they could have had. But at least the flak Verling got Mr. Retinue and return to sender triple victory point cap. We've only just passed the 10-minute mark, and those victory points have gone back and forth heavily already. That 2 rifle grenade. We're just gonna full-on retreat the Peagrens. Andromeda selected the Armored Support Doctrine. We've got the improved coaxial guns and the Flammy Unjammy Lammy Panzer III. Territory looking pretty bleak for Steppe. Probably don't even need a Flame Panzer. Probably going to skip that. Probably on their way to getting a Panzer IV command tank. If they're going down that side of the tech tree. The motorcycle driving into danger. It is just some scouts. Not that bad, but the rifle squad on its way to try and get some shots into the side, and they step on a mine! We just caught that one. But now, though, this area will re-belong to Steppe as the Axis Menace tried to push for the fuel point right outside the US headquarters. I guess it's more like knocking on the door to see if anyone's home, because they fall back to cover. And some more Panzer Pals, lots of Panzer Pals. The rifle squad just going to be firing out in the open. This is why I like to have some engineers, just building some sandbags more on your side of the map so you can get more favorable engagements should the battle cross over into some personal space. Or you can use chemical weapons. That'll also do it. Nicely played there from Steppe, removing the threat almost neatly. Oh, we're going to lose another rifleman. I think only their tail got scorched there. If they can get their squads into decent cover and have that M8 Scot provide fire support, things will go much better. We got a scout squad stuck behind enemy lines. I don't think they're making it home. That M8 Scot has not had chance to make much of an impact just yet. As soon as it rolled out of the factory, it hit that mine, and then the flak Verling showed up, and then not having engineers to immediately repair, that delayed it massively. We've got a Shaffy out here now. Maybe this Shaffy will have better luck. Before it has luck, it needs a target, and it's going to get one. This 8 Rad will be no match. But that doesn't mean a thing. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a situation where I just don't have a counter to something. And all that really means is you just don't bother trying to counter it. Play around that piece of the jigsaw puzzle. The 8 Rad takes its first shot and is now aware of the danger. So it gets back behind the building. All it wants to do is just find the opportunities where it can shoot at infantry, and the Shaffy isn't there. Just drive in, take a few shots, drive away, knowing that that light tank will be on its rear. Got a rifleman squad, which I think was trying to hide. They don't get away with it. They need to roll a higher stealth check. We're 15 minutes in. Oh, you've been watching for 15 minutes. Maybe it's time for a break. Now, sometimes I'm playing Anno 1800 and I leave my computer on and the announcer is like, You've been playing for 3 weeks now. Perhaps it's time to take a break. Don't judge me, narrator bloke. If that's your real name. More white phosphorus being used against the poor Panzer Grenadiers. Meanwhile, the 8-Rad has received a patch-up. And here's another thing as well. When you don't have a counter fielded, you can really easily manipulate or predict where your enemy goes. You see the 8-Rad is blasting away, and here's the Chaffee. Because it knows there's no counter on the field. It thinks it knows there's no counter on the field. So it just shows up and starts blasting. And it backs away because it doesn't want to go too deep, just in case it treads on a mine. But that leaves you open to focus on other areas. Again, these rifles, they're so opposed to cover. The Chaffee, though, is eliminating cover from the Panzer Grenadiers. Able to blow a hole in that wall, so the directional cover was no longer applying. Scots falling back. We now have a situation developing with the Marder 3. But the Chaffee has managed to find a new hobby of just driving over all those high walls. There's not going to be any place to hide around there now. Sometimes that can be an advantage. In this case, I think it's less desirable for Steppe. That motorcycle's still kicking around. It is Vet 2. Might be on its way to the ever-dreamy Vet 3, which makes your hair stand pleasurably on end. Because it is an accomplishment. It takes so much nurturing. The Scot and the Chaffee chilling out together. When's that Scot gonna fire? What's it waiting for? There we go, a barrage command, I suppose. Middle's also seeing some action. Rifle squads charging with Lord Rykard's orders. Together! Retreating together as well. Andromeda now has a second Marder 3. Sisters of Battle. Overkill? Could be. But Marder 3s have a fairly cheap price tag to them. You probably won't need any more anti-tank weapons for some time now. But why listen to me? Andromeda gets another half-track with a Jaeger squad. So 2 Jaeger squads, 2 Marder 3s. A lot of anti-tank stuff. I'd like to have seen some assault Panzer Grenadiers come out. Can always use their smoke shells as well to capture some of this territory. But hey, capturing territory not really a problem for Andromeda. Where I assume they is stepping on all of the heavy cover on their side of the map. Making it even more treacherous for their own riflemen. Now, normally for me, I'd be airborne and I'd just have paratroopers mop the floor with this place. But as the armor company, ooh, you gotta fight armor with armoire, which is just a fancy French way of saying heavy metal with a turret on top. Easy 8 coming out here with some toe-tappingly good-time assault engineers for repairs, very much needed. Can the Easy 8 defeat 2 Marders? In my professional opinion, absolutely bloody not. An Easy 8 with a Chaffee, yeah, totally, but the Chaffee is now an element which has been removed from the battlefield. One of the Marder 3s destroyed by the Scot. Didn't have to waste a Chaffee for it. It needed to come in from the side, flanking speed style. Or even 2 shots on the rear, that'll do it. Easy 8 pulling back, as is the engineer crew. The Axis are in overwhelming force. Half-track with the Jaeger squad inside, braving the advance in the face of an Easy 8. Do they want to take some shots at the Scot? Or maybe that retreating rifle squad? Vet 3 to their name. Now, I do believe they'll make it home, where I assume they will vote against their own best interests and then post on social media to complain about it. when the leopard they voted for bites them in the face. The Easy 8 could do with a lick of metal plates before returning to battle. You know, it's a lot easier to keep topping up the health of these tanks than it is to repair them from low health. It turns around, exposing its rear armor. Marder 3 not able to get a shot. You really need some good backline logistics for that. A couple of engineer squads would do that. God, it really makes me wish that the modding tools were fully fleshed out. I still can't make the mod of my dreams because the functionality just isn't there quite yet. Good news though, in December we get a proper replay system. That's a high arc shot from the Scot. Another rifle squad getting smacked in the face by 4,000 pounds of ammo. That's going to be tough to swim out of. Yeah, they've made it. They'll need to return to the battle soon, though, because 3 cap in effect. They've got to capture 1, buy themselves some time. Easy 8. Taking the 8 rad bait. Step sees the Marder 3, and it just keeps going. It seems to enjoy this next level chaos. I'm much better off just facing that front armor and taking a head-to-head battle. You're giving this Marder 3 exactly what it wants. Scott might be in trouble here with the Jaeger squad. It's able to reverse. The Marder 3 and 8 rad definitely still in danger from that Easy 8, which is swinging around. Heading back to base. Now we have a Panzer IV command tank on the field as well. So this is 20% increased armor, which isn't going to matter too much for a Marder 3 or an 8 rad. But I think it's also 15%, maybe 20% increased rate of fire. And of course it brings its own firepower. It's got the short, stubby barrel, but it's enough to put a dent in an Easy 8. These rifles are just unhinged or badass crazy. They were trying to get a sticky on the Panzer IV-F. But that F stands for fucking nope. Dromeda ain't playing ball. Rifle squad's kind of doing nothing but providing endless entertainment for the Axis. Easy 8. Chaffee. Yeah, mate, Scott. And everything nice. These are the ingredients to make the perfect little girl. All we need is some chemical X and we can turn this fantasy world where the Allies win into reality. This Easy 8 should take out that Marder 3 first. It hits way harder. It's way more of a threat to it. Especially if you're exposing the side and Rio gets behind the building. Gets behind the wall. Panzer IV command tank is going for it. Takes a shot. It's going to need another, but I don't think it's going to survive another. Yeah. But anything touching that Easy 8 now, and it is gone. Are we going to lose the Scott too? We sure are. 2 elements removed. We cannot lose the Easy 8 now. And the armor rumbles. We've got 2 8 rads. One of them's a Vet 2 as well. And I think it's quite possible an 8 rad could do it. They're trying to find it. They went all the way down the road and now they're splitting up. They're cutting off any way it could possibly go. And yeah, it was literally one shot. Wow, 24 kills, 2 vehicle kills on that 8 rad. Well done. Grenade a little off the mark there. Step did really well though, I think. That Easy 8 descended from the heavens, did some really good stuff. But then it was a roller coaster of disappointment. Their crews let them down and couldn't take out enough. The Axis will retain control of the victory points. 81 tickets remaining for the Allies. They'll have one last chance to fight back, and they don't think it's worth it. The winner is Dromeda. Congratulations, and thank you, Step, as well. That was a fun one to watch. I hope we see more of both of you out there on the battlefield. And if you would like to see more battles, then don't forget what I said about joining the Discord and subscribing to the YouTube. The tutorials I did for Relic are up in the Discord. They've received some positive comments, or at least I'd like to believe that. I've not actually checked because I don't know how. It's complicated. So I'll see you for the next battle whenever we have replays for that. See you then.